So good morning, you guys. Right now, I have some warm-up problems for you. You can do on a whiteboard, you can do in your notebook, but please pause and try to solve them right now for X for these three, and then right here, just evaluate it. Pause it, please. Now, we're going to solve them. So once again, how do we solve? We circle the variable. We do the opposite. Right now, because this is addition, the opposite is subtracting through from both sides. So X has to equal 7. Right here, you circle X. You want to get it all alone. What's happening between these two? Division. Opposite is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. And when we do that, 3 divided by 3, that's just 1. So we're left with 1x. And 12 times 3 is going to be 36. Right here, you have negative 2x equals 20. What's happening between these two? Multiplication. Opposite is division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. Hopefully remember, a positive divided by negative is a negative 10. And then once again, here to evaluate, minus a negative will become plus a positive. Right here, that's an addition sign, so we don't have to change it. A minus sign, though, we have to add the inverse. Well, the inverse of a addition is subtraction. Now that we have everything in addition, we can add 6 plus 7 is 13. Plus a negative 13 is 0. And then plus a negative 8 is just going to be negative 8. So if you have any questions on this, please let me know. Otherwise, we're going to keep going into fractional parts. So fractional parts, lesson 74. The first thing I would like you to write down, what does is mean? Hopefully everyone knows. Equals. Very important that you know that is means equals. Of is going to mean multiply. Please write that down. It is so important that you guys know it. Multiply. So of means multiply. Is means equals. And we're going to deal with some word problems today. Setting up the equation and then solving from there. What fraction of 56 is 42? So what we're going to do to be successful today, we're going to pick out keywords. We're going to pick out values. We're going to write the equation, then we're going to solve it, and then we can always check. So right here it says what fraction. So we can put what fraction of, hopefully you remember, and you just wrote down, of means multiply 56, and then is means equals 42. Well, right now, since you know that this is multiplication, after we set it up, we're going to solve. So opposite of multiplication is division. And when we divide, what I will always do is reduce because 2 goes into both of these. So that's actually going to equal 21 over 28. And then if you notice, 7 goes into there. How many times? 6. 7 goes into there. How many times? Oh, whoa. Let's see if I'm doing this right. 7 goes into that 8 times. And then if you even just reduce this, 7 goes into this 3 times, 3 over 4. Why do I keep reducing as a fraction? Because it says what fraction. So we're just reducing this. Now, how can we check it? What fraction of 56 is 42? If we plug it back into our equation, it would say 3/4 times 56 over 1 equals 42. Well, 4 goes into 56, 1 with the remainder of 1. 14 times 3 is 42. So we do have the right answer. So today's all about setting up equations and then solving those equations. So let's check out this second equation. It says 3/4 of what number is 60? So if you can see, if you can set that up in your notebook, 3/4 of what number is 60? Maybe pause. And then to check your answer, 3/4, you put of, hopefully you remember, means multiply. Of what number? So we'll put, we want to know what, and then it's asking for a number this time. Is means equals, so we put equals 60. So we always keep things in order. You just have to know what is and of mean. Well, right now, what makes this one a little difficult is, right now, this is multiplication. Opposite is division. And when we divide both sides by a fraction, I would always put this number over 1 divided by 3/4. Something divided by itself is 1, so we're going to have what number? And then when we have a fraction equal to, divided by a fraction, the first one always stays the same. we invert and multiply by the reciprocal. And what I'm going to advise you guys to remember is always reduce your fractions before you multiply across. 3 goes into 60 20 times. 20 times 4 is going to be 80. So what number? We did so for an answer, and that is 80. The way you can check is by plugging it back in. So once again, 80 is our what number? So you'd have 3/4 times 80 over 1 equals 60. And we're going to see if this is true. So we put a question mark there. 4 goes into 80, 20 times, 2 times 20 is 60. So we know we did it right. A very common mistake is that people will bring the 60 over here. Just remember, how do you know what number to move? It's always the number on the side is your variable that you want to move to the other side. Then if we keep going, what fraction of 130 is 80? What fraction of 130 is 80? Please take a moment to read and try to write it down yourself. And then right here, if we set it up then, what fraction of means multiply? 130 is means equals. So there we go. And look how easy this is. It's going to ask for a fraction, so then we're not going to have to reduce. Opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 130. And you should really like this because you're going to get what fraction? Because something divided by itself is just 1. 80 over 30, hopefully remember, just cross out those zeros. And nothing goes into 8 and 13, so you can just go 8/13. And that's our fraction. As not nice as that is. So here we go for our lesson. It's a pretty short one today. Make sure you always set up your equations though. So today, please do the 13 star, and let's do a couple of the letters. Let's do G and H of less than 74, and then the star, and then happy solving.